Welcome to my channel. And that is my makeup. So, okay, it's recording. It's a bit of a weird light, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Olivia Gold. If you're new here, hi, hello. I'm Olivia. I'm a marketer with over 10 years experience across fashion, lifestyle and FMCG, and I'm also a fashion beauty enthusiast. I love all things fashion and beauty. It's how I even got my start in marketing, but that's another story for another day. If you don't know, go back to my first video, which I'll link, and then you guys can check it out. To my lovelies that have been here for a while, and I know I haven't posted in a while, but yeah, that's another story. But here today I'm to do another video which is not necessarily marketing related, but it's just overall about kind of productivity within your career and personal life and finding the balance. For me, that's something that I have actually currently struggled with. So from the learnings, experiences I've had, I just thought it only makes sense to give you an update in terms of what I'm learning, what I'm kind of getting better at, and hopefully a few tips and tricks will help you guys. Not necessarily tricks, because you can't trick your way out of this, you just have to find a way. In my last video, I kind of talked about, taking the time out, not being online, and actually just kind of living in real life, living in the present. I think you can't really give advice or be of value if you haven't really gone through it yourself personally. Well, Q1, Q2, Q3 has been manic from a career perspective and how busy I've been. I definitely want to make sure Q4 I'm kind of giving everything that I've learned with you guys. But quickly, do you guys like my shirt? How cute is this? It's so bright and colourful. This is an oversized shirt from Kai Collective by a lovely girl called Fisayo, a designer. So she's amazing. I just think this top pops. Like, you could literally have such a boring outfit, you throw this over and it just kind of elevates it. So outfit of the day, so I thought I would tell you guys where it's from because I just think it's such a dope jacket. Anyway, back into today's video, all about productivity and finding balance in all the things within your life that matters. Let me give you a bit of backstory about moi. So as you guys know, I work in marketing. I'm a marketing leader for the UK and Europe, which has me super busy. And majority of this year, I have been stretched in terms of work, responsibilities, deadlines, which has kind of taken over my life, even personally spending time with my husband, with my friends, family, all of that good stuff. Juggled in terms of finding balance and how to do that. And it wasn't something I was really self-aware in the moment, just because like deadlines, work, travel, I was just going. Whilst I was enjoying it, it was also taking its toll because late nights, early mornings, as time goes on, your body definitely starts to feel it, and that's what happened to me. I don't think it was necessarily burnt out, or maybe it was, I don't know, we'll see. But I just felt like it was the lack of balance that I had. And yeah, let me just be honest, it probably was a bit of burnout, just because you're mentally tired and you're actually physically exhausted, specifically if you do travel a lot for work. So that was definitely something I experienced, and that was just obviously the demands within the seasons of my role. It's more about finding ways to control what you can control, because there's so many things in life you can't control, but within your career, personal life, and all the things that are important to you, it is important to find a way to see what you can control. And one of the things I would say is time management. I think this has been like a constant thing within my career. Now I'm in my 30s, I have a lot to reflect on. In my 20s, I was always chasing something. I think I've mentioned this before, like whether it's a job, the next opportunity. But now in my season where I'm very much present in what I'm doing, and I understand the beauty in what I'm learning, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I also, because I'm enjoying it, I feel like, yeah, I'll just add this in on my plate. Yeah, I'll do this for you, hon. Like, I say yes to so many things. And by the time I reflect on my day, and I take the second to reflect on my day, I realize I've said yes to so many things, but then physically, I can't complete them all within the 24 hours of the day, including my own sleep that I need for my own body to exist and stay alive. And it would be really finding ways to manage your time. And it sounds simple, but it honestly is solved by just taking stuff out and learning how to say no. which is the practice and ministry that I'm currently a part of, I'm saying no to things that I usually wouldn't say no to before, because I didn't realize the overall impact. You do a lot, you don't do it to the best of your ability because you're actually just trying to get through it so you can complete it, move on to the next thing. Secondly, you're exhausting yourself because you're not really having the time dedicated or needed that you require to action and complete the things, specifically to best ability. And then thirdly, you could be disappointing yourself and also other people, because if I don't complete my task to the best of my ability, I'm disappointing myself, so I'm not showing up in the way that I'm supposed to. But additionally, if you are doing something for someone else, you are also disappointing them because you're not giving them the time needed and dedication to execute what you need to do for someone else. It could be like the other day, like I had a work deadline, then I had to be at like an additional work event that was attributed to all the other things that I do within beauty and lifestyle and fashion. I didn't have any food in the house because I didn't cook. And it's just like little things like that. Like, whilst it sounds so menial, you have to think about all the people that maybe you admire or you look at and are really successful in the fields that they're in. And they also talk about this with people who are wealthy in general. And something that is consistent that I've always seen is how they manage their time. They don't play. Like meeting a friend for lunch, okay, 11 till 2 is their slot, and that's it. No later, no earlier, because after that they have other plans. Even if those other plans are downtime, they're super meticulous with their time management. So whilst for me, I was in what is on your plate. So you're executing the things that you want to do to the best of your ability, as I mentioned, so you don't disappoint yourself or other people. The more you can manage and the better that you can manage it, that the results end up being better, which opens you up to more opportunities. That could be more money, there could be more reward. The first one I would say is just overall time management, because yeah, like I've sucked at that, to be quite honest, for the most of this year, which also has even impacted in terms of what I want to do with this platform in my consistency to post on YouTube. Like, the evidence is there, so I don't really need to go into it. You can see that. So that's like a learning that I'm taking into Q4, and I've scaled so many things off my plate. Specifically, if you're a multi-hyphenate, this is probably something that you may relate to and struggle with, because there's so many things that you're passionate about and want to put your time into do, but you are just one person. Even if you do have a team or an assistant, everything still ladders up to you. So you still need to be given vision, direction, and people the right scope so they can go out and do the work that they need to do for you. And it can be a lot of responsibility just on you, because you're like trying to be in many places or put the dedicated creativity and time in to execute these things. Something that I've struggled with, but honestly, taking things off my plate and knowing that that's the season for everything is probably just been the biggest lesson and realization. That's like point one for me in terms of how I'm becoming and dealing with that. Two, which is probably my latest one of realization, which I can talk to about, is writing things down. Like, honestly, I didn't realize how bad it got, but moment I hardly write things down. Like, I take notes, for example, like in meetings and things like that. In terms of Olivia's to-do list, I don't write it down, and it's a gift and a curse because I can store so much in my mind, which is a good thing, right? You would think, but in the end, not necessarily, because I'm actually not giving myself, my brain, the time to actually note down these things, put it somewhere, take it out of my mind, put it on paper, so I can use the rest of my brain capacity to think, be creative, and think about those things and how I want to execute it, because I'm too busy trying to remember it in my mind and keep going on. And this is something that would show up quite constantly, because how I would work and operate through the day could look quite scatterish, but I'm not a scattered person. Scatterish isn't a word, but we're just gonna own it because I think it just makes a lot of sense to what I'm talking about right now. But because I stored everything in my mind, I'm thinking about things, I'm talking about it to myself, and I'm moving throughout the day doing list number one. I'm still thinking about list number 3. Don't forget to do that, Olivia, because that's gonna come up in a few hours. So I'm doing that one, finish, point 1, I'm on to the second one, and I'm thinking about point 4. So I felt like my mind was constantly in overdrive, because whilst yes, I can hold and retain everything in my mind, I wasn't given the space and time to myself to write it down and trust that there's a source of reference for me to go back to in case I forget, because I'm human, I'm not a robot. And I didn't realize how much it takes a toll in my creativity, because when do I have the time and the capacity to think creativity if I'm too busy retaining the information of the list in my mind? Like, think about that. That's nuts. And thirdly about that is I'm actually not being kind to myself. Like, we are all human. We're trying to operate, we're trying to build, we're trying to scale, we're trying to learn, we're trying to do all these things, right? And writing it down just allows yourself to put it out of your mind and put it somewhere. Because I'm just you know, a normal person trying to evolve and go about my day, if I'm not putting it anywhere and putting it in a space where I can go back to, I'm suffering myself trying to retain it and maintain it. Like, I'm a PC, I'm not a laptop, I'm not like a machine, I'm a human being. So for me, that was 3 things that I identified because it was actually hurting me. And in the times where I need to be creative and think about the different concepts and, you know, topics I want to talk about on this channel, I can't think because I'm just trying to remember that I need to do this on this day, or I need to record on this day, instead of writing it down, because then I can go back to it and think about, okay, this is the day I'm gonna film and these are all of my ideas I already written out and like brainstorm. If I don't write them down, 1, I actually may forget, and 2, I won't remember like the root of those ideas if I don't write it down. So this is a big one that I just wanted to share, because this is like a recent aha moment, and I thought it was a superpower, being able to remember things, and maybe it is, but I think it needs to be managed better. Of course, yes, I can remember everything, but I'm not superhuman, so I need to give myself that grace to actually be kinder to myself, write it down, so I give myself the space to think about other things, or think about one of those ideas deeper, so I can actually come up with a better creative idea and then offer. 3 was something that I'm still working on, as usual, because we all are. We're all an unfinished project and progress in everything. Priorities, that's a big one. It's similar to time management, but not, because priorities is so important. It really allows you to think about the one main thing that you should be working at a time, or maybe it's 2. I don't think it has to be strictly 1, it could be 2, depending on your lifestyle, if you work a 9 to 5, or you're just a freelancer, or you're unemployed at the moment, which is a nice term I like to use for those that are looking for work or just transitioning. Priorities is super key because it gives you the direction in terms of what you need to be focusing on, and this is a constant topic across life with friends, for me anyway, in my group. It's just to prioritize, specifically if you are on social media and you use that as an outlet like myself. There's so many platforms and I just get exhausted. I don't know about any of you guys, I get exhausted because there's TikTok, which means you need to post 6 times a day. There's Instagram, I should be posting 3 times a day. And then if not, I need to be constant on stories. And then we have Snapchat. Snapchat has a really cool creator program where they're given much higher commission than other platforms. So we're seeing a lot of people pivot there. And then there's YouTube. We all know YouTube is such a useful platform, but it's for the long game. You don't really see the reward instantly like you do on TikTok. So picture being a creator and then you're trying to expand and grow your community across all 4 platforms. That's 6 times on TikTok, 3 times on Instagram. Snapchat is kind of constant, and YouTube, I think minimally twice a week if you want to give specific videos. So for me, that was just like, okay girl. Done a video on in terms of how to use those platforms, but putting it into practice myself has also been a thing for me to reflect on as well. So for me, YouTube and Instagram are definitely active channels for me and building my communities, where TikTok and Snapchat were very reactive and not as consistent on, and I have to surrender to that and admit it because I know my capacity. So it's just being honest with yourself and like, what is your capacity? Do you work a 9 to 5, or are you a bit more free day to day so you can actually dedicate more times to be diligent across those different social platforms? Is definitely something that I struggled with, and probably speaks to the reason of my absence of YouTube, just because of how much time it takes. And I'm just being honest. Yeah, priorities is everything. And for me, in my career, the industry that I work in, summer is a huge busy period, whereas other industries, summer's quite quiet. It's huge for us because for us, when then our product tells the most stories, we've got the most exciting, compelling campaigns. That's huge for us because of festival season, so I'm everywhere. Like, I'm traveling, I'm at events, I'm booked and busy. So the time taken that I would throughout the year is kind of gone, to be quite honest with you. Maybe next year that will change, but currently that's just the status of it. So now, as I'm entering Q4 and we're kind of winding down with planning for next year, I have a better timetable, which has allowed me to reflect on these elements of online productivity, which is what I wanted to share. So it's really like these top 3 things is in terms of our time management, making sure you manage your time, pulling back on elements and writing things down. Like, honestly, that's a big one for me. So I've got a new notebook, which I'm excited about. And 3, prioritizing, making sure you prioritize and things that you should be focusing on. You do that, it needs to go back to your overall values in terms of what are the things that you value most and what are the things that speak to you and what are the most important to you. There's so many things we enjoy, right? There's so many interests I have, but not all of them line up to like my overall like values and what I know I want to be using my platform to do. So that helps me weed out the kind of elements, like I'm stuck between the 2 things I need to be doing for this year or this half year. Just kind of go back to the overall purpose and intention of my platform, who I am as a brand and what I want to focus on. So I hope also that can help you guys whittle down the confusion sometimes. It really talks about the confusion that may occur as you're going through the process, and it's very normal and it's very fine. Specifically as a creative, there's so many ideas that you may have, so many things you want to execute, but you do have to think about your overall kind of purpose and what your intention is with everything that you want to do. What does that ladder up to? What is the value that you want to offer people? And hopefully that will help you whittle out all the things on the list that you want to achieve and allow you to, I can never say this word, compartmentalize it. Did I say it right? I think I did. For me. That's a big one. Dump in terms of productivity, and I really hope it helps you guys, because honestly, like, it's been such a reflective season for me and understanding how I can better myself and just be more of a better marketeer, you know, like business, be a better entrepreneur in terms of my businesses that I have myself, and just overall as a better person with my time, with my family, with my friends, and also with myself, which is one of the most important elements. Like, you have to make time for you and making sure you're making yourself happy, because again, you can't give great work, you can't give great time, you can't be great company if you're actually not being good and kind to yourself. And that's definitely something I've learned over the past, I would say, like 2 months. I think these lessons and realizations have been very loud. It's great because it shows a sign of growth. The last couple of years I've really seen growth within myself, and it's a beautiful thing, because it's weird because you get to like an element where you feel like you've got a hold of something, and then new experiences happen and you're like, oh my god, I don't know anything. And it's not that you don't know anything, it's just you're awakening to a higher level of understanding of yourself and what different seasons of your life require of you. So I think I would say that's currently where I've been at and what I've been doing. So whilst I haven't been online as much, I definitely think I've been soaking up so much. It's great, which I know it means I know I'm going to have a lot to give to people and you guys on this platform and share as much insights just as you guys kind of build, whether you're like studying, trying to figure out what do I want to do next, which is a big question to have, right? Interviewing, and it's just like, is this the right job for me? These are certain productivity that can actually help you define if you are in such a busy season of your life and it feels very noisy, very busy, you don't have as much time for yourself. Really help like take these steps. Or if you're in a season of confusion or transition and you're trying to figure things out, like I would definitely make sure you have time management just over your life, making sure you're writing things down so you're hearing yourself, and putting your ideas down on paper so you don't forget them, or you make little notes to yourself so you can like remember the roots of certain ideas, and prioritizing time. I think that is probably one of the biggest things, because when you prioritize your time better, you're able to manage your time better and you're able to log things better, so then you can actually execute it in a better way. Something I'm also doing just from a productivity perspective, and I think this just helps with personal development, is journaling. So I've given myself a 30-day challenge to journal. The reason I do that, as I mentioned, I store so much in my mind. So I could have thought of something a month ago that was probably profound, and because something else came up, I forgot. And I want to make sure that I'm learning myself and understanding myself better than anyone can understand me. Reflective. To grow and evolve in life, it's important that you have self-awareness, and sometimes of course you could be self-awareness of circumstances or how you react in certain moments, which is great. But I think in general having a consistent element of self-awareness is key, or just self-awareness of your feelings. I'm such a go-getter. I'm really focused on my career. I want to build, so I'm on the go. But having this moment to journal and reflect on my feelings has been quite profound, because I'm understanding more how certain things make me feel. Like when I'm high pressured, how does that make me feel? When I'm quiet in life, how does that make me feel? When I'm productive, and you just understand yourself and your patterns better. So then you can actually understand when things are right or when things are wrong, and then you'll be able to make pivots at the right time, instead of doing things quite delayed because you had to go through a certain experience and deal with hurt or pain, or go through a certain experience and deal with triumph and joy, but then you don't know what to do with that feeling. I think it's important as you evolve in life, especially in career, that you take the time to journal your experience and your time, so you also remember how certain experiences made you feel. Like, what did it feel like when you were successful in something that was stressful at first? That's a huge milestone to accomplish and note down. So when you do experience maybe something like that again, you can actually go back to that journal and understand your mental capacity then. What are the steps that you took? What things did you do to get over it? I think that's major. But if you're just going, you don't give yourself the time to acknowledge it, note it down, and even like remember it. Me, I'm on a 30-day challenge. I'm on day 8, so not even halfway through. Definitely want to finish this and tell you guys what I learned and the lessons, just so hopefully that could be a good productivity hack for you guys as well. It was really like reflective, I would say. I think career is such a big part of people's lives, and we're always chasing get to the next level, which is great. So much out there to achieve, and there's so much that still hasn't been thought of that's probably in your mind too, which is amazing and sick, right? But then I think what's not really talked about is the emotional capacity and just the mental capacity to achieve milestones and how to get there, and what you may experience in certain seasons, and what you do to help yourself over it, get through it and achieve it at the highest level. Activity is one of the biggest hacks. All different industries, careers, and just being a high achiever, I would say. Productivity is a really key to take on board, and make sure that you are establishing it within your day-to-day routine and your overall life, lifestyle and mind frame. This video helps you guys. What I really want to tap into is vlogs, and I think because I'm still like a newbie to YouTube, I'm still finding it uncomfortable, so I really do hope I do get comfortable to do it. I work from home most of the week and I'm in the office twice, so I kind of need to figure out my balance in terms of how I'm going to give you vlogs, even if it's mundane. You can really tap into what I do, and I think it'll probably make some of these advice videos and just insight videos just make it a bit more clear in terms of why I can really lean on what I'm saying, just because I go through it with my work and the demand that it requires of me. We tap into the last quarter of the year, and I think it's a very reflective season, because you kind of go back and see the things I wanted to do top of year, how I achieved it, and you can really learn from your wins or your losses and figure out how you can be better. And I would say definitely these 3 tips in terms of productivity will help you, because it's been helping me for sure. So I hope you guys like this video. Please do like and subscribe, leave your comments. If you have any questions that you have for me that you want me to answer, I'm definitely down and I'm here. So I'll put up a couple questions, and if you can answer it in the comments, that'll be really cool, because then at least I know what you guys want to hear from me. But until next time guys, please like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Olivia_gold, where you get to see a lot more of my fashion and beauty hacks, because I just find it easier to post there, but I'll take some of it and put it here. But in the meantime, follow me there and make sure you subscribe. Like, it's growing. I've had this platform for 2 years and we're on 600, which I'm really proud of, specifically with my inconsistency. So hopefully with my consistency, we'll definitely grow a wider community. And I'll be doing online events, which I'm super excited about. So I'll definitely show more of it on this platform, so you guys can be a part of it and we can connect globally. I know there's some of you that are watching, you're in Europe, you're in the States, which I really appreciate. So it'll be good to connect with you guys more. So see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.